Hey guys, this video we're going to talk about healers, healing effect, healing stats, everything there is to know about healers. We're going to go over the actual calculation as a dear friend of mine, Wecken, a big shout out to Wecken, has figured out the formula for me and for the community. So a big thanks to him. And we're going to go into that in detail. It is on my website, but I haven't revealed the URL just yet as I want to tidy it up. But before we get to the formula, I want to go over some general questions as there are a lot of questions that people tend to have about healing. So to start things off, can healers crit? The answer is no, they cannot crit. So another very common question is, how does healing effect work? What does it actually affect? Very simply, healing effect affects all healing done. So if you are the person causing the healing, then you are increasing the amount. The healing effect creates a percentage increase. So for Vortex here, healing effect is increasing not only the amount of healing he does based on his attack, but also the amount of healing he does based on the target's max HP. Healing effect is scaling on both of those values. The scaling is a little bit complicated, unfortunately, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, it affects both of these. And for someone like Volker, who has lifesteal of 4% per attack, this does actually affect her lifesteal as well. And if you have other heroes that lifesteal, such as an awakened Deimos, his awakening 1 will restore HP, then I believe this should be affected by healing effect as well, and as should Salazar's Blessing of Dragonblood. So if you are causing healing, if you are by some effect making yourself receive HP or making someone else receive HP, then healing effect should affect the healing done. I admit I have not tested every single case for this, but the ones I have tested does seem to be correct. Currently there are 3 types of healers in the game. You have your single target healers like Vortex, 1 ally in range. You have your multi-target healers like Midan, who can heal 3 allies in range. And then you have your area healers like Dolores, who heals everyone within her range. These are all different defined healing types, and they all have different scaling based on their multipliers. So regardless of their HP or attack, you will get a higher scaling amount on a single target healer than a multi-healer than an AoE healer, which is the reason why AoE healers are significantly weaker. In terms of how and when to use healers and which kind of healers are preferred, personally, I rate Midan super highly from the epics. She heals herself. Tri-target healers I think are very good. The healing is less than a single target for someone like Vortex. However, they are always going to be able to heal themselves. So somewhere like Gear Raid 2, Midan is always going to be healing herself. She's always going to have herself topped up as well. So there's not going to be a time when she's not healing the person who's wounded because she has to heal herself. So I really like these tri-target healers, the multi-target healers. AoE healers just don't scale very well, so you don't really want to use them for actual healing. They are mainly there as supporters, such as Dolores, who has an incredible attack bonus buff. So you want to be using Dolores for her damage boost. It's a very strong attack bonus, but she's not really a good healer by herself. So generally I prefer to use HP scaling healers. I just like the survivability. It makes them very good in Gear Raid 2. And I prefer to use multi-target healers where I can, the free target healers. I have noticed that HP scaling healers tend to offer less buffs or damage output to the team. So Lightlock, for example, is a attack scaling healer, and he can do some good damage with his Light of Courage. Whereas HP scaling healers, Midan and Vortex, also Sadie, they just focus on survivability entirely. Whereas if you look at some of the attack scaling healers like Elowen, she has some more niche utility stuff, I guess. It's kind of just a side note really, but I've noticed that attack scaling healers tend to have some more bells and whistles, whereas the HP ones are just incredibly tanky. But overall, if you're looking to build your first healer and you do have Midan or Vortex, I would suggest one of these two. They have great healing range, they can heal a decent amount, and they're very good in Gear Raid 2. Other healers that are very good to use are Hollow because of the rage boosting, Elowen and Leia as well because they are rage boosters, and rage boosting healers are just super useful in so much content. So if you're unsure who I mean, this is Leia. Her ultimate restores a bunch of rage to allies, and Elowen has the same with her passive Nature's Favor. So this rage restore just makes it a lot easier for allies to get their ultimates up, and it makes them kind of more offensive focused. So this is why I say that the attack scaling healers tend to have a little bit more towards helping their team out rather than just keeping everyone alive. I think those are the main kind of standard questions, but if you have any other general questions, just leave a comment and I will get back to you. So moving on to the meatier part of the topic, the 2 things to talk about. One is the actual formula, and one is how that affects how you should gear your heroes. So first we'll talk about how you should gear your heroes, my general recommendation, as I think this is the most useful thing for most people. My general recommendation is you want to get as much of the main stat as you possibly can, but you really do want to get healing effect to 100 or higher. 100 healing effect translates to roughly 75% increase in healing effect. So when you're healing a target, let's say Vortex, so now we're going to move over to the other things. So generally I would say, as an overall suggestion on gearing, I would suggest taking 2 of your main stats as the primary target's healing scaling, so HP or attack bonus, and have the third as healing effect, and then try to pick up as many subs as you can. So if the healing effect is your main stat, take HP or attack bonus as a substat and get it as high as you can. If you have HP or attack bonus as the main stat, then ideally you should be having a load of healing effect as the other substat. That's generally how you should build your healers. They need more of their main stat than healing effect, but you really do want to get to 100 healing effect for that juicy 75% scaling increase. After that, the most important stat for a healer, in my opinion, is attack speed. If you are an attack scaling healer, then you may need some more HP percent as well to keep them alive. I'm a bit mixed on HP scaling healers. I do actually like to put them in more HP bonus. I think there's more incentive to do that, but generally you'll get roughly in line based on the mixture. I'll put up a little table of this with some testing I did on the Forerunner server just to show you roughly where the scaling is. You can see a mixed balance is significantly better per heal. So yeah, that's my general recommendation. You just want to mix your stats as much as possible. Try to get those two really high and increase your attack speed, as it really will help you churn out your heals faster. So beyond that, the meatier part of the topic, which is what is the actual formula? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. Simply there is two parts to it. There is the target's max HP and there is the healer's scaling stats, so attack or HP. And both of these are going to be multiplied by healing effect. It's healing for roughly 5% of the target's max HP, and there is also an overall scaling which is applied at the end as well, just to make things a bit more complicated. So a single target healer is going to scale more on their base stat, but also at the end of the scaling, after all of the other calculations are done, including the target's max HP, that will then be multiplied by another figure, which is like an overall scaling amount based on the healer type. This is all kind of just maths, numbers and stuff, but if you do want to have a play with it, I did actually use my friend Wecken's formula on my website. So if you go to mybucket.com/stats/healing, you will see a healing calculator, and it will look something like this. Now, this is not perfect. This is a very messy form at the moment. I need to figure out how to tidy it up. There are a few problems with this form, and there is a few problems with the calculation in general. The calculation works. We've tested it. It is very accurate for the time being. It was primarily tested on attack healers, but we do believe it does work the same on HP scaling healers. So the issue with the form is this. If you look at your heroes, there are a lot more bonuses than is easily taken into account. If you use the stats from the gear screen, it will be wrong. You need to use the attribute screen to get this. You need to double check your skill ups, because if you're gaining bonus healing multipliers, then this is going to throw the formula out of whack as well, because it does not account for this bonus multipliers. If you have awakenings affecting multipliers as well, this will also throw the formula out. Additionally, if you have gallery bonuses, because sometimes these are going to be giving you additional stats, you'll have to add that on as well. And additionally, your Pantheon bonus is going to be multiplying your base stat. So if you're a HP scaling healer, you will need to add 11.5% to your base HP before you add on your bonus HP. So there's a bunch of different things that can affect the formula, which will mean the result will not be entirely accurate. But if we bring the website form back up again, there are a few different things that you can use. So at the moment you have base attack, bonus attack, healing effect, the healer type, single, multi, or area of effect. You have the target's base HP, the target's bonus HP, because again, the target's base HP will scale on the Pantheon HP bonus, which is available down here. And you will also have Pantheon healing effect as well. And if you're an attack scaling healer, you'll need this. So at the moment, this is coded just to use the attack bonus for the healer, regardless of what they are. So just if they're both HP, then just populate them both the same. I'll sort the form out eventually, but you get the general idea. You can use this calculator to loosely work out healing effect. It will not be 100% accurate unless you are incredibly precise with the values you put in, and you'll need to take into account pretty much all of the calculations. So it will give you a rough idea of healing, but it is worth making sure all the numbers are correct. And anyway, even still, it will give you a pretty good idea. So you can use this to have a play about and to, see what the scaling is like. But hopefully this helps a bit with people understanding the formula. But that's kind of it. I don't want to go into it too much because I think I'll get lost trying to explain it. As I said, my friend did the math, so I'm not the maths whiz on this stuff. The way we collated and figured this out was basically just a hell of a lot of testing on the Forerunner server and on the global server as well. Just having as many combinations as we can to work out the scaling amount using single healers in 0 all the way up to 300 healing effect, or however much we could get. And then doing the same with the attack scaling, changing the target's HP. You can do it, but it's just a ridiculous amount of data input and logging as much as you can so that you can create the charts and the data. But anyway, that's the result we got. We will keep working on it and we'll try to make sure that it is up to date if there is anything wrong with it. But from our testing, this is actually the correct formula, so we're happy enough with that. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I don't want to get too heavily into things. I just wanted to give you an idea as to how the scaling works and a calculator to play with if you wish, and also to give you suggestions on how to gear your healers. Just again, as a quick summary, I would suggest focusing on their main stat scaling, especially if they are HP scaling, as it's really nice, and picking up a bunch of healing effect in the subs. And do take a healing effect main if you need to get over the 100 healing effect threshold, as this is really the most effective healing effect you can get. Sitting at no healing effect is a huge loss. It's just a big amount of scaling. So yeah, definitely pick up some healing effect. You just, around 100 is kind of where you start to have more, where the curve kicks in a bit harder and you're not gaining as much bonus. Anyway, yeah, that's about it for the video. If you have any questions, do leave them below and I will try to get back to you. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.